Hello everyone, I'm back from a well-deserved break. I've been on holiday and I've been quite busy as well decorating, so I'm back after a long break. So what have I got in store for today? Well, today I have got my minced beef and onion pasties. Really nice, Mrs. loves them. So let's go through the recipes, the ingredients. So I'm going to keep it quite simple, so I've got some ready rolled puff pastry. Okay, that makes it a lot easier to just go out and buy it. It's only about 70 pence. It's not worth the hassle really, to be honest. So I've got some ready rolled puff pastry. I've got one onion which I'm going to finely dice. Okay, I've got some nice minced beef, really lean minced beef that I got from the local One Stop. I've got one stock pot which we're going to make 300 millilitres of stock with. I've got some salt, some black pepper, I've got some tomato ketchup. I'm also going to be using some tomato purée, which I forgot to get out actually. Some Worcestershire sauce, some plain flour. I'm going to be using some vegetables. I'm going to be using some potatoes, which I'm going to really finely dice, and some carrots, which again I'm going to really finely dice. So what I'm going to do is get the vegetables prepared, really finely dice them, and then we'll get started. So I'll see you in a few minutes time. Okay, so I've got my vegetables prepared. I've diced my potatoes, I've diced my carrots really small, and I've diced my onions. I've got the 300 millilitres of stock ready. Forgot to mention I will be adding a teaspoon of garlic, but I will put the ingredients in the description below. So let's get cooking. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my onions in, and I'm going to fry them in probably about 2 teaspoons of oil, olive oil. About 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and I'll add a teaspoon of garlic in with it as well. So let's get that going. Let's get the onions in there. I'm going to fry these so they're nice and soft. About a teaspoon of garlic. Just a teaspoon of garlic. Now let's get these fried until they're nice and soft. Okay, so they're nice and soft now, so the next step is to add the mince. So I'm going to break the mince up and add it. So we're going to brown that, fry that now until it's nice and brown. Okay, so that's now nice and browned. I've got all the minces browned off, there's no pink showing anywhere. So I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit. And the next step is to add the tomato puree and the ketchup. A good squirt of ketchup, about 2 tablespoons full. Good squirt of tomato puree, again about 2 tablespoonfuls. Okay, give that all a really good mixing in. Right, so that's all mixed in. So the next stage, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of plain flour. So, let's get flour. About 2 tablespoons. Sprinkle that in. Well. 2 tablespoons, and give that all mixed in. That'll help to thicken it up. Because what you want to do when you come to add this to the pastry, it needs to be, all the liquid needs to reduce down to nothing, and it needs to cool down. So that flour will help to thicken it up. So the next thing I'm going to do now is add the salt and pepper and the Worcester sauce. So, a good sprinkle of salt from a great height, good helping of black pepper, and a few good splashes of Worcester sauce. Okay, get that all mixed in. And then all that's left to do is add the stock and the vegetables. So we'll bung the stock in there, 300 millilitres. Get it all well and truly mixed in. Give it a good old mixing up. So that liquid, that needs to be really reduced down before you get it into the pastry. So what we will do, we'll put the lid on and simmer it for about 30 minutes. Check it after 30 minutes to make sure there's most of the liquid is gone. It doesn't matter if you've got a little bit left, because you do want a little, a little bit of moisture, but you don't want loads of liquid. So we're going to reduce that down by simmering it for about 30 minutes or so. Okay, so now I'm going to drain off my vegetables. Turn that down. Start with the potatoes. Throw them in there. And now the carrots. Throw them in there. Get everything stirred in. Just going to put the lid on and let that bubble away gently for about 30 minutes or so. I'm going to come back and check to see if all that liquid has been reduced. I'll have a tidy up, and if everything's okay when we get back, then we'll start on the pasty itself with the pastry. So let's get the lid onto that. Okay, so that's been bubbling away slowly now for a good 25 minutes, and it's reduced down really nicely. So there's just a little tiny bit of moisture left in it. All the liquid's gone. So now what we need to do is to turn that off and let that cool right down. So I'm going to give it about 20 minutes to cool down, and then we're going to come in and make the pasties. Okay, so I'll see you in about 20 minutes when that's cooled down. Okay, so now it's time to build the pasties. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is to unravel or unroll your pastry. You want to take it out of the fridge about 10 minutes before you're ready to use it, because it's quite hard to work with this pastry. I've noticed that. So get that unrolled nice and gently, because you don't want it to crack. Okay, so that's that. So this is a plate that I'm going to be using to cut around. With this I should be able to get 2 pasties out of it. If you want to make smaller ones, just use smaller dishes, or smaller plates, or whatever you want to use. And I'm just going to cut round here, nice and gently. and then I lift it off. I'm going to do the second paste, the second one. That's one. So that's the shapes cut out. And then what I want to do is just remove the excess pastry. Nice and gently. That's that. We'll put that to one side. I might use that later on because I might make a small one or something out of that. Then I'm going to get the scissors and just cut down the middle of these two pasties. Okay. So now we add the filling. Okay, so using a tablespoon, I'm just going to spoon some in. Now you don't want to put too much in because you're going to need to leave some room to brush around the edges with some egg. Okay. Now if you do put too much in, you'll know when you're folding it. Just take some out with a spoon. Fingers, I know. So once you've done that, brush around the edges with some milk. Sorry, some egg. I've got egg and milk in here. It's a mixture of egg and milk. Okay. And then all I need to do then is just get the corner of the paper and just fold the pasty over till it meets the edge on the other side. Gently removing it from the paper. And that's it. And all you need to do then, I'm going to flour my fingers, a bit of flour. And then just going to press down on the edges. To seal them together. And then I'm going to brush the top out with some egg and milk. Just trim down this paper, any excess paper. And then that one can go onto the baking tray. There's one done. Just trim off that excess paper. That's my first one done. I'm going to do the second one now. I've got the oven heating up at 180 degrees. That's 180 fan. That's 280 if you're using electric. And it will go in the oven on the middle shelf for about 15 to 25 minutes. Just keep your eye on it. Just want it going nice and golden brown. Don't want it burning, so just keep your eye on it. 15 to 25 minutes. I'll just get the second one done. Now I'm going to go on the baking tray. So that's the two pasties done. I'm going to now get them into the oven. So you can leave the pastry onto the baking pan that it comes with. I'm going to put them on the middle shelf now. I'm going to cook them for about 15 to 25 minutes. So I'll be checking them after about 20 minutes. So I'll see you in about 15 minutes time. Okay, so I've actually left them in for 25 minutes. So I'm now going to take them out and we can have a look at them. And there you have my minced beef and onion pasties. So all that remains for me to do now is to plate up. So that's my plate. Slide that there. That's for the missus. And for those of you out there that like a bit of colour on your plate, I've prepared some nice salad to go with it. So put them there. A few cucumbers. And a little bit of lettuce. Now the mixture that's left, I'm going to make another couple of pasties, probably tomorrow. I'll put it in the fridge for overnight and I'll do some more pasties for tomorrow. So that is my minced beef and onion pasties. All that remains for me to do now is to get stuck in and enjoy them. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please don't forget to click on subscribe and then you'll be notified when I do some more of my delicious recipes. So thanks for watching, see you later.